Hello, everybody. Thank you for turning into our first episode of Reloader. I'm the Authority of Attack, Joe Pistoletto. This is Christopher Bumbershoot. How you doing today, Chief?
You butchered my fake name a little bit, but hey, that's fine. This is Chris. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. As Joe says, our first podcast, so it might be a little rough around the edges, but we're going to do our best. Today's topic is we're going to get a little bit of a deep dive on how to play the sport, breakdown by operational sequence, the zones, the rules, etc., etc. But, we want you to have a better feel of how to play the game at the end of this podcast. And if you haven't seen our how to play video, it's already up on the site.
Go watch it.
Sorry, not the site, the YouTube channel. It's already up on the YouTube channel. Go watch it.
Go watch it.
But we're going to go even deeper than that on this podcast. We're also going to go into the latest Reloader news and developments. It's week 1.
Go watch it.
Now, go watch what? There's not a lot going on right now, but we're trying to grow the channel. More importantly, we're trying to grow the sport. We want everybody to see this, want to play this, so that we can have big tournaments and competitions, and I can beat everyone, I think. No? Yeah, probably not.
Well,
but
first, is the key.
We're going to do a walkthrough and breakdown of last week's race, and we're going to do this every week on the podcast. Joe, we're going to talk about last week's race, so there's going to be spoilers. Spoiler alert, if you didn't watch the show last Friday,
go watch it.
Go watch it. If not, we're going to spoil it for you, and I don't care. So tell us, Joe, last week's race. This is our alpha testing, version 1.
Our alpha testing, for all you out there, is a little different version of the full-scale race itself. The size of the course is roughly the width of a football field or a soccer field.
So the field's not going to change.
The field itself will not change. Yeah. The reloads within the race will change. So our alpha testing is just, for now, giving you all a kind of look to see what it is, for ourselves, a feel of the race, the flow for it. If we need to make things more difficult, maybe tune it down a little bit. But nevertheless, it was very enjoyable.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, the sport of Reloader it starts with us two. That's why it's us two out there racing. We're not the best athletes we can find. We are the athletes we know, because it's just us two.
I'm the best athlete I know.
All right. So we started out with 3 targets, shooting targets, and 1 boss target. 7 pieces of ammo on the reload side, and then 1 extra piece of ammo for the race. This is round 1 of 3. So everything we do in Reloader is best 2 out of 3. That goes towards the strategy of the whole game. And the competitors were myself, Reloader Chief, on the red side, versus Joe Pistoletto.
The Authority of Attack.
The Authority of Attack, Joe Pistoletto, on the blue side. So, spoiler alert is over. We're going into last week's race. So, set the scene for me, Joe. It was our first ever match. We're out in the middle of the desert. How are you feeling? What did we do to get to this point? I remember picking you up at like 5 in the morning. It was still dark. And
I mean, I was excited and ready to go. I mean, I was definitely sleep deprived. Yeah, remember correctly, I had worked the night before, but I mean, it's just one of those things. We put the work in for a long time. It's been a little over a year in the making. Yeah. Had a lot of trial and errors, a lot of conversations, a lot of thought about how to put this, and it was the first time really putting things into motion. Yeah, I was excited. I mean, I had plenty of coffee and caffeine in me, so I was ready to go.
It's us two with a rental van that we loaded the night before. So we're headed out to the desert. We set up. Sun is coming up. That first episode, you can see the sun still almost on the horizon. It was pretty early in the morning still. So finally, we set up the course, and it takes a while because it's just us two.
Right.
So, all the reloads out there we have to put ourselves. But we finally did it. We're ready to race. Honestly, my legs are already tired from setting everything up. But we're ready to race. And before before we say go out there, we know we're going to do this 3 times.
Yeah.
So we're going into this race. We're not going into a full sprint because we know we have to leave a little bit in the tank. We ended up being out there a couple hours just working out.
Well, yeah, I think the setup, exactly. We didn't necessarily speed through it. We kind of took our time knowing that we were going to be out here for a little bit anyway. I mean, and keep this in mind. We set it up, so every time we finished the race, we had to reset it up as well.
Yeah, and I look forward to the days where we continue to set it up, but our athletes don't have to worry about that. Our athletes are just going to go out there and do their best on the field and let us worry about the T's and the I's and crossing
and the crossing of the things.
The crossing of the stuff.
And the Q's and the P's.
What do you do with
everything
P's?
Else.
You cross.
You put the P in front of the Q, and then you stay on your P's and Q's.
Oh shit! All right, so we get to the race zone. Siren goes. In about 6 seconds, you win that first piece of ammo. Tell us how you cheated to do that.
No cheating involved, just hard work. The interesting part is, though, with those sprint sleds, is when you take off, there's like a little jerking motion.
Yeah, and you can
once
see
that cord reaches its length.
You can see it in the video.
Yeah.
We had practiced it a little. For those who don't know, we do a horse 1 minute clip every week. So we had done this playing horse with the sleds.
Correct.
I think we had less weight on it then. But we tried out all the contraptions before we get out there. But so this might have been the first time we're taking off with 42.5 pounds on the sled, and then the sled itself is like 20-something pounds.
Correct.
So we take off, and yeah, there's that jerk, and you can see in the video at takeoff like that it jerks me back a little bit.
Yeah, I think in the first race you had a little more difficulty.
It's a little bit more surprise. It was a surprise.
I mean, I'm not saying I didn't, but you can obviously see where it got you a little bit.
Yeah. So 20 seconds into the match at 8:40, you drop off the cash for your second bullet, and I'm busy lifting the supply bag. That's 150 pounds of sand. I thought it was a good idea at the time, but it's heavy.
Well, I mean, it was a good risk to take. You could have done that, or you could have ran across to the other side of the reloader zone and tried to carry those jerry cans, but
yeah, I'm going out of my way for that too.
Yeah, I mean, it was the closest, and it would have got you two points of ammo.
Yeah, so 19 seconds later at 8:21, I drop off the supply bag, so now I got 2 pieces of ammo, and you're starting the jerry cans on the far side of the field.
Correct. I mean, at that point, I already have 2.
We're 2 and 2 at that point.
We're 2 and 2. You finished possibly the toughest task at that point. I've handled the easiest one to make it a 2.
So you're a little more fresh.
Yeah, man, I got plenty of energy to get going still.
And that's all part of the strategy of in your situation. You already had 1 piece of ammo to start the reloader zone, so you get a little bit different strategy. And again, this is our alpha testing. Only 3 targets. Our final version of the game is going to have 5 targets to shoot. So strategy is going to change at that point too. But
definitely.
For here, we just did 3 targets to try things out. So you had a little more freedom in choosing what reloads you wanted to do. I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree.
Before getting ahead of myself, when we do 5 targets, when we do 5 targets,
when we run a course with 5 targets.
When we do 5 targets, we will have more reloads then too as well. So you drop off the jerry cans at 8:03. We're less than a minute in. You already have 4 pieces of ammo, and I'm starting the jerry cans. At 7:46, I finish the jerry can. So now we have 4 pieces of ammo each, and you're just entering the nether ender with that wheelbarrow. So for those, we'll get into the how to play stuff after this, but if you don't know right now, when we enter that nether ender with the wheelbarrow, it's with the intention of rescuing the dummy and unlocking your gun.
Correct.
So you're trying to unlock your gun with 4 pieces of ammo.
The dummy represents your
That's
friend,
your homie.
amigo.
Your homie got kidnapped.
Yeah, somebody got kidnapped.
You're the action hero. Your friend gets kidnapped by these jerks. You gotta take these jerks out, rescue your friend.
And he's got the gun on him, but the problem with that is he's got no ammo.
He's got no ammo.
You're trying to get the ammo, he's got the gun with no ammo. So you have to rescue him so you can get that piece, load it up, and take out those crazy people who thought they were going to take advantage of you, basically.
So at 7:32, 14 seconds after you enter the nether ender, I enter the nether ender. 7:24. We're effectively tied at this point. We're both at the dummies. You're a little further in getting your dummy in the wheelbarrow, but we're in the same location at the field with the same amount of bullets at 7:24.
Right. At that point in
It's
time,
anybody's game.
it's tied. It can go either way.
Yeah. At 6:59, we're 2 minutes into the match. You unlock your gun. You exit the nether ender with the dummy. You unlock your gun. So you're, all you have to do is load your gun and start taking shots, but you decide to rescue the dummy for 2 more pieces of ammo.
Well, that was kind of the game plan to begin with.
So you went in to see thinking, if I could. I need 6.
I just wasn't confident enough in my marksmanship. I thought maybe I could pull it off with 4, but if I had tried 4 and missed, then I would have had to gone back to get more ammo, which would have probably given you the lead and the victory.
It's windy out there. We went out there a couple times to scout things. We set up even one time, and in our experience, it's been windy out there. So I don't really blame you for wanting extra bullets. There was one time we were out there, and like a giant dust devil just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, you literally see you're tumbling with the tumbleweeds out there sometimes.
Yeah, true story. I think it was we have sandbags to carry sand, but we were also storing the ropes in these sandbags. And one time, one of the sandbags got caught in the wind. I swear I ran for like a half mile chasing that thing. You remember that?
Yeah, actually I do. Yeah, now that you mention it,
and it was going fast. I was sprinting at the thing. I was blowing up trying to catch that thing. So you drop off the dummy at 6:33. You have 6 pieces of ammo now.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm still in the reloader zone, struggling with that dummy barrel. And if you've seen the episode, hopefully you've seen the episode because we're spoiling the shit out of it.
And if you have seen the episode, the one thing you could see where Chris struggles is the fact that dummy is not. It's very bottom heavy. The weight isn't evenly distributed. You have to have a certain process or technique to picking it up in order to get it there and still push it in the barrel itself.
The dummies are filled with rubber mulch that we filled ourselves, and we counted the number of bags we filled in. It's 110 pounds. But yeah, I guess, gravity happens and all the mulch kind of falls to the legs. It gets more compacted and it falls towards the legs.
Right.
So it's very leg heavy at the end.
Definitely gravity takes hold. It's always kind of weighing you down.
And for some stupid reason, I decided to go backwards. Probably because I was already tired. But yeah, I paid for it. And if you look around this time where I'm struggling, you could see where it almost tips. That hurt my wrist like crazy. My wrist was hurting for like 2 months after that.
Oh yeah, it's uneven weight, just falling all to one side.
Yeah. So you can't get hurt playing this. We encourage you to play and get hurt because... Or else, what are you doing?
Disclaimer.
What are you doing if you're not having fun? Let's see. I'm still struggling. It doesn't even say I'm unlocked the gun yet. So at 5:59, you're already taking your first shot. 5:56 is when I unlocked my gun. 5:49, you already hit your third target. It took you 5 shots to hit your third. I haven't even started shooting yet. You're already loading the ammo boxes at 5:34. 5:30, I start shooting. So you're comfortable. You're just strolling into the
Oh yeah, I mean at the point where you were starting to struggle with the dummy was where I kind of figured out, okay, I have the time to take my time, make sure I hit all the targets, and hopefully be the first to finish the first leg of our match.
It would have been really interesting if you missed your shots and you had to go back for that sandbag though.
It would have been not interesting. I would have been screwed. That is basically what would have happened.
So, and then at 5:17, you hit the final boss with the mace. You take round 1.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good feeling to be able to accomplish that first race. I mean, yes, it helps when you're the victor of that race, but again, there was a lot of work put in. It was a lot of time passed putting into this sport to figure out how to go about things. I mean, especially for yourself, I know scouting the land, going out there a few times, marking the field. Yeah, I mean, it was a rush. It was a good feeling. It was a lot of fun.
One thing I left out where we're setting the scene is I went out there the night before and put all the ropes with the stakes in there, so we had our boundaries already.
Yeah, I remember you telling me you did.
Yeah. So
I remember seeing them when we got there.
Yeah, we we put in work to make it happen in the desert.
Oh, yeah.
But the reason we were in the desert is because we wanted the time to have the freedom to set all that stuff up and not get interrupted.
Yeah.
So the stats for the first race, you ended up doing 3 reloads, which paid off because you got 6 pieces of ammo, and you needed that last
Which I needed.
reload of the dummy to get the 5th shot off. Me, I only went 2 for 4. You know, not bad. You went 2 for 4 for your first 4 shots, so I mean.
Right, more or less the same.
Yeah, but you finished at 343. That's our first ever. You know, I guess these can be considered exhibition matches because they're still testing versions. But I didn't finish the round. But your post-race thoughts?
Again, I mean, it was exciting. I mean, I was excited that I won. To be honest, I was going in it confident, thinking I could win the first one, and I was glad that I did. I mean, in playing this sport, it's a match. It's a best out of 3. I won the first leg, so I have the advantage. I mean,
Yeah, you
I
could
have
play
the option.
cool.
Yeah, I had the option to go hard the second one, or maybe just play it cool and try to take it if I could. But definitely feeling confident, sense of accomplishment, happy, to get this thing underway, get some film out there, so we could take it all to you listening.
So we'll see how you do with that strategy next week. But my initial reaction was, all right, I was still tired.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a little annoyed that I lost. Being that I created the game, it's pretty annoying to lose your first one. But it was fun. It was really fun.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I know you put a lot of thought into it. I know the field itself changed a little bit, or you had made some adjustments and how to make it more accommodating.
But, it's a little faster paced.
I mean, it is. This is a functional fitness type of sport. And for anybody who's competitive in any nature, whether you played sports or whether you just don't like to lose, it's exciting, and you push yourself, you challenge yourself. I mean, again, even though there's a contestant you're against, you can only run your own race.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works
You're
out for
ultimately
you.
racing against yourself.
Yeah.
Now, when we get into the rules, what the other guy does have a factor into what you can do.
Oh, definitely.
We'll get into that.
It may change your strategy as you go along.
But that was our first race. So tune in next week for round 2. The podcast isn't over. Don't turn it off. But now we're going to get into Reloader news and developments. This is our launch week, everybody. We're trying to show as many people we can the game. We're trying to find more people who want to play. Right now, it's just me and Joe and I. Don't talk to me about grammar. This is a basic testing version, and we have big plans for the evolution of the game to make it more challenging. Like we said, we want 5 targets out there. We want more reloads. Right now, we're just trying to, not only just show everybody how to play, but we're adjusting. And as we're recording this, we have recorded more races since then, and we are adjusting the rules to make it, not only more visually appealing, but more fun to play. But to follow us, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at reloadersport. Our social handles pretty much repost all the YouTube videos, but all of our content will be mostly on YouTube. We appreciate the follow. We appreciate the subscription. That's the same thing, right?
We appreciate your intrigue. We appreciate you participating. We look forward to hopefully meeting some of you out there.
And as far as upcoming races and meeting some of you out there, we have a few weeks of alpha testing that'll be posted every Friday. And then we're going to move on to beta testing that introduces new equipment, features, and athletes. After beta testing, it's full speed ahead.
Yeah, hopefully we're ready to rock and roll from there.
We want beta testing to be a four-person mini tournament. If you're interested, send us a comment on social media, and we'll talk about it. We're in the Los Angeles area, by the way, if that wasn't obvious from the desert photos. But we're in the Los Angeles, SoCal area. So if you're in the area, hit us up. Reloader is designed to be a tournament-based competition. yeah, we're doing 1-on-1 now, but it's the basis for, you know, an
A
8-man, a
full-scale tournament.
16. We want a March Madness 64 of people doing best 2 out of 3.
That would
So
be great.
that's what we want. Beta testing is our introduction to tournaments with the goal to eventually have huge brackets and multi-day events. So that's what we're looking for to our 4-person beta testing.
Well, not only is it a sport, it's an event. It's something not only you don't have to just be a contestant to be able to participate. Down the road, the big picture is, yes, to have a big tournament, for friends and family to come watch you compete, to have an event, to enjoy the setting, to see what it's about, to hopefully even get you to try it, hey, just for kicks. Maybe you don't think you can win, but maybe you want to try it.
Yeah, and we try to create it with a balance of different type of athletes, especially as we add more reloads. There's going to be reloads that are advantageous to quicker athletes and reloads that are advantageous to uh, big, strong athletes, like that Sandbag, for example. But it all come down to the shooting, because if you're the better athlete but you have poor aim, this isn't going to be the sport for you.
You're not going to be able to win in the
Yeah,
end.
shooting is going to be the equalizer at the end.
Definitely.
And because we're trying to get the word out, our Reloader Sport YouTube is going to stay busy. Our new episodes are every Friday. Our new podcasts are every Tuesday. But Monday and Thursday, we have clips of... Monday's going to be the next episode preview. Thursday's our last week replays and highlights. Those are like our spoilers for last week. And Wednesdays, Joe and I are playing horse, which is just like the basketball horse, where it's like, you take a shot, you miss, it's an H. But we're doing it with reloader equipment. So it's like lift the sandbag, take a shot type of deal. And if you're interested in supporting us and be one of the first to rock some reloader gear, please check out our spring store. It's integrated with YouTube and Instagram, and you can find the links in the description. So that's all for our weeks in reloader news and developments. Don't turn it off, it's not over yet. Because now is our main topic for today's podcast, how to play. So, anything you want to add before I get into my little spiel on how to play, Joe?
I don't think so.
Good, I don't want you to anyway.
I want to learn how to play.
You need
Just
to.
kidding, I know how to play.
There's a little
spoiler, I know how to play.
Spoiler, he cheats. So what do I like? I want to do what I want to do. So what I want to do, I like games, I like competition, and I like to create. But to me, it's more about, I wanted to make a sport. So I asked myself, what is sport? Well, sport should be about functional fitness. It shouldn't be... yes, there's skill in every sport, but it shouldn't be only skill-based. I think being able to be a physical presence on the field you're playing in is important. I think every sport should have an element of strategy. And for me, those two things together, to really reflect what life is about, it should have a survival theme. Because, what are we doing out here if we're not, if you're not a badass action hero, then what's the point of playing the sport, right? You hit a ball to a bat. I love baseball, by the way. But hitting a ball to a bat has, no value when the zombies take over.
Well, not to interrupt, as you were saying, this test your athleticism. It's for athletes, but not per se athletes of a certain sport. Any athlete who plays a sport is in good shape. So this tests your shape, your ability to do, again, daily functional fitness tasks with a theme that trying to survive in life. First race.
Yeah, it has a goal. It has a story, a beginning and an end to the story. And the story for a reloader is, somebody's on your land, somebody kidnapped your friend, time to clean house.
Yeah, time to take action.
Yeah. So reloader field is prepared with supplies, like you've prepared for this such a scenario, and the reloads are supposed to be the tools to help you solve this problem, and the tools provide ammo. I don't think people should just be given anything. I think you go out there, you earn your weapon, you go out there and you earn your ammo, and then you get shit done. So the bad guys have a hostage, trying to rescue the hostage. to me, that covers the physical aspect of sport, the fantasy aspect of a film, and I wanted to give it like the visual presentation of a video game. We have graphics on there to help you follow the action.
It definitely helps.
I wanted to show something. It's like if you tuned in and you didn't know what the sport was, maybe following us on the map or maybe following the cylinders, how many ammo we have, helps you, find out what's going on, especially with how fast-paced the game is.
Correct.
And in that sense, we want themes for the game. Like right now we're shooting cardboard cutouts. I want to be shooting zombies. I want to be shooting ninjas. I want themes to the game that make it more fun.
I'll be shooting little gremlins.
Wow. And at the same time, I want our competitors to have fun. I want people to come up with their own characters and gimmicks. And, if you want to come out in a costume, you can. I want people to have fun. That's what it is. It's a very demanding sport?
Physically challenging.
It's a demanding sport, but it's also going to be fun. So if you're out there dressed like a giant chicken, good, because then your opponent looks silly to lose to a giant chicken.
Then he should dress like Peter Griffin. You guys should just duke it out.
I'd watch that. Come in on episode 2. No. But yeah, so going back to the game, the objective of the game is to be the first to eliminate all targets on your side of the field. Basic targets are eliminated via shooting, and boss target is eliminated via the mace. But access to guns, ammo, and the mace is restricted at the beginning of the game, and players must earn them on the field. So you start the game pockets empty. And that's not to say you're running around with the gun anyways.
Right.
You're starting the game just you. And everything you're going to need to take out the bad guys, you have to earn. Now, how do you earn the ammo? There's 2 ways. The main way is the reloads in the reloader zone. And the second way is the entry into the reloader zone via the race at the beginning of the match. And if you're going to do the reload from the nether ender. But the reloads in the reloader zone. So you get one at the... I'm going off into tangents. Help me out here. You get one at the beginning of the match, winning the race. That's something I think I want to keep forever to incentivize the person that's quick to react to action.
Correct.
And that's not to say that the race zone itself won't change. Like maybe sometimes we'll actually do it with the wheelbarrow. Maybe sometimes it'll be a push sled.
Yeah.
But it'll always have that element of first to get in the reloader zone deserves a prize.
Yes.
Now, once you're in the reloader zone, you have all the options in the world to pick what you want to use to earn your ammo. So the reloads, they're situated on the edges of the field, the perimeter of the reloader zone.
The reloader zone.
And you're bringing them to the center of the field to earn those bullets. You can also, which you didn't see in the first episode, and I won't tell you if it comes in later episodes, but you can also earn your opponent's reloads, Joe. Did you know this?
I was aware of that.
Yeah. But so
I was not aware of that.
You can cross over to the other side of the field through the center of the field where you drop the reloads at.
But that's the only place you can.
Yeah, it's the only place you can. And same with the other zones. There's only certain areas you can cross over to the other zones. We have lines out there, and they're not meant to be crossed so much. But there are certain areas where you can cross over it. And the main area to cross over to the other side of the field is the middle of the field where the reloads get dropped. We didn't need that right now. Maybe it's because we're only using 3 targets, but it's a thing. So if anybody ends up using it, if I want to do my water jugs and go take your water jugs, I can.
That may come into play one day. You never know.
Yeah, and that would force you to do things like, well, now he has to carry the sandbag and that's heavier.
Right.
So that's something to keep in mind. You can cross over to the middle of the field, through the middle of the field to the other side. So that's how you earn ammo. It's reloads. It's in the reloader zone. There's also one last reload, which is the dummy. After you rescue the dummy, you can bring him to the center of the field for 2 more pieces of ammo. Now, how to earn your gun? There's only one way, and that's to rescue the dummy from the nether ender. He's the guy with the gun. We say guy, but he has no gender. But he's not wearing pants either.
He is the individual who carries the weapon that you need.
Yeah. But he has the weapon. He has no ammo. So we need to rescue him to get the gun. We do that right now in this first race. We're doing it with the wheelbarrow, but that might change. But right now, we throw him in the wheelbarrow, wheel his ass out, and then you can carry him or drag him to the center of the field if you want it. But only way to get your gun, rescue the dummy. The only way to earn the mace is to do the memory challenge.
The memory part of the race is very interesting. We have the ammo boxes, which come into play. Now, this comes into play 2 parts of the race. In the beginning, we have 60 cards to choose from, one which you pick to give you the order.
Yeah, we pick one at random. We shuffle the deck.
And then, so you have to see it, but the trick is, after you've done all the reloads, after you're fatigued, after maybe a little drained, memory comes into play, and you have to know what order that was and put them in correct order from the front to back.
Yeah, no matter what version of the competition we run, there's always going to be some sort of memory or mental challenge to the game. And that's there just to make it harder. Just to make it harder when you're tired. For tying back to the survival aspect of the game, yeah, you got to be on point mentally.
It's not only physical. You definitely have to be mentally locked into what you're doing.
Yeah. So we're going to show the competitors a card at the beginning of the game that has 3 colors. And if you watch the episode, we show you the card at the beginning of the race. It has 3 different colors. Those boxes have to go in the wheelbarrow in that order. And it may change again, but it's going to be something with the memory or some sort of puzzle or something that these guys have to figure out. I say guys, but I mean guys and girls. Don't, get away from me. That these competitors have to put in the correct order. If they don't, when we have referees, the referee's not going to let them pass that section until they get a ref.
It's a must. You can't finish the race without accomplishing
Now,
that
if you
first.
forget, you're going to have to run all the way back to where we started at the race zone, because we'll leave the card over there for them to go check it. Like, oh, it's red, blue, and chrome. I have to run all the way back. But yeah, that's the memory challenge, and that's only, after you're tired. Winning the game, you have to be the first player to eliminate the basic targets, and you do that by shooting. And then the first player to eliminate the boss target with the mace. So the boss target is the finish, finishing gong. I like the sound it makes when the gong.
Yeah, it definitely gives like a finality to the race.
Yeah, that mace ball is, was it like 35 pounds, something like that? It's not light.
It's 35 and totally one side heavy.
Yeah, and
yeah,
we're careful out there not to just completely obliterate the boss target. But we could. The boss target's solid steel. It's actually made to shoot with like real bullets.
Yeah.
So it can take a beating. But the frame, however, I'm not so sure about. So yeah, eliminate the boss target. You're the winner. But to work yourself backwards, it's not easy to get there. The boundaries of gameplay. The field is shaped. It's like 2 triangles with a square in the middle. It's like a diamond. The reloader zone is a square. It's 41 meters horizontal, 41 meters vertical. So it's a square. And then the triangles, the race zone and the nether ender zone are triangles, but they're like half the size. They're 20.5 meters deep. So there's no benefit to going out of bounds. If you want to go out of bounds, sure, knock yourself out, but I don't know where you're going because all the action's on the field. But there's no penalty for it either.
Right.
And like we said before, you can cross over via center of the field to the other side of the field. But if you want to go back and forth between the race zone and nether ender zone, there's only that one little area, which is in the nether ender zone. It's basically the path of the wheelbarrow, and the race zone is the path of the sprint. That you can re-enter or re-enter.
Yeah, your entrance or exit, basically.
For this round, this match we're having right now, there's no benefit to re-entering the race zone. But later there might be. There might be, something like a cash maybe I'll throw the cash out there. But you can't just enter the nether ender zone at any section. You have to only enter and exit in that one little entry point. It's good because it's like you're sneaking behind enemy lines, and you don't want them to see.
Well, yeah, nobody would just run out there in the open.
Yeah. Shooting. So the current gun type we're using is a pump action paintball gun. Pump action means like it only shoots one at a time. You have to, what's it called?
Cock it.
Yeah. So, I wanted to use something with a little force to it. So they're CO2 powered, so they have a little, kick to it. I didn't want to use BB guns or stuff like that because we'll never find those out in the field.
Right. I mean, to a degree, we're a little worried about the environment as well.
Yeah. I mean, these are biodegradable, etc. So if we don't find them out there, at least we know they're safe for the environment. But yeah, I'm not trying to leave a bunch of BBs out there. Before every match, players receive a short instruction on how to properly load their weapon. During play, there's no referee for our first testing because it's just us two. But during play, the referee is going to distribute ammo to the players, and they're not going to load their own gun. I don't trust people. People are cheaters. And for touching on the refereeing part, there will be one referee once we start doing competitions. But like if it's me, I'm just one guy. I'm going to stop people from doing things. I might even DQ somebody from like blatant cheating
if need be.
If I don't see something though,
hopefully not.
Yeah, I'm not going to reverse decision based on camera. I don't like instant replay on football or baseball or any of that. Does basketball have instant replay?
They do now, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it. So if you want to cheat and you can get away with it, fine. But if you get caught, you get caught.
Yeah.
So the targets we're using right now, Joe, are they're basic cardboard. Something I got off Amazon.
Yeah, simple.
But there will be changes into that in the future. We already have like the zombie targets we have.
Right, we have our zombie. We have our wood base for it.
Yeah,
already.
we want to do something a little more sturdy in the future, especially that makes the paintball part pop. Again, too, the gun might change in the future depending on the type of course we're doing.
Correct.
And our boss target is solid steel, so he can take that that mace ball to the head too. But that's he's bulletproof. You can't shoot him with the paintball gun. So yeah, strategy element of the game is a lot of it is in the reloads. It's depending on what kind of athlete you are. Like I'm a thin guy that those heavy things take a toll on me. So we will in the future be adding reloads that favor lighter athletes, and without going too much into it, it's a climbing apparatus. I'll just say that.
Right. Everyone will be excited when that time comes.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Another element of strategy is when to do the rescue, when to do the memory challenge, and knowing that it's a best 2 out of 3. You have to pace yourself.
Oh, definitely.
Because if you're high energy first one, you may not have enough in the tank for the second and third. So it's all part. We want it, a strategy heavy game, not just who's the best physical athlete, but who's the best shot and who can really pace themselves.
Well, just to piggyback and recap what you said, the sport itself is geared towards any athlete who has a competitive nature. Whether you're stronger, whether you're quicker, there's going to be enough reloads on the field for you to hopefully potentially strategize to your advantage and put yourself into position to win the race. But also do not forget, during the course of the race itself, based upon your other contestant, that strategy may be ongoing through changes. Through the middle of the race, you may have one idea, but you see your other competitor gaining, now you got to change it. And then again, at the end, it all comes down to how good of a shot are you. So you have to be well-rounded, you have to be sharp, and then a good shot as well.
Full version of the game is going to really not favor
anyone.
Well, I take that back. It's going to favor a better all-around athlete, for sure. And at the same time, I don't think it's gender restrictive. I think...
I'm sure there's ladies out there who could definitely complete this course and kick some butt.
Yeah, me for sure. So I would love to have women out here competing.
It's for everybody.
Yeah,
it's for everyone.
And I think the distribution or the balance of reloads we have on the final version, there's really no limit to what type of athlete can be out here.
I for one would definitely be excited to see a female out there and dish it out to some dudes.
Same.
That's without a doubt.
Yeah, but I hope we gave a decent walkthrough of how to play the game. Again, we're using our alpha testing version as a basis of it, and the game will grow and get a little bit more complicated and more strategy heavy, which is great. But I hope we clarified a lot of the questions anybody might have on how to play the game. Go watch our first episode if you haven't already, and maybe by the time you're listening to this, we have more episodes out.
Go watch it.
Go watch it because seeing it is really it's not a hard game to follow at all.
No.
And the way the graphics are set up makes it easier to follow. It sounds very wordy explaining it, but honestly, it's really fast paced and
you
fun
did a
to
very
play.
good job putting everything together and making it easy to follow.
Oh, thanks.
No
But
problem.
anyways, that's it for our first podcast. Again, our videos and clips Monday through Friday. We have clips. New podcasts every Tuesday. New episodes of the sport every Friday. Right now we're doing one race an episode, but as things get more popular, we hope to do one match an episode maybe.
Get popular and larger and more exciting.
Next week's topic for the podcast on Tuesday will be we're going to do a deeper dive into the reloads themselves, like what muscles they're going to work out and what's the idea behind them. Like we're carrying jerry cans, 7-gallon water jugs. That's supposed to simulate like you need your supplies that can be like a gasoline or something. Supplies to take out
to go
enemy.
Burn down those guys who took your friend. Go burn them down.
Yeah. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The socials are basically reposting our YouTubes.
At reloadersport.
At reloadersport. Merch plug. You can find our merch link in the description.
At reloadersport.
No, it's a spring store. But at reloadersport, don't forget that. But our spring store is in the description. Any support really helps us to do this full time and make the sport grow. Again, it's just Joe and I right now, so any help we can get.
But in the future, we hope it's you as well.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. But that's it for our first podcast. Thank you again, everyone. We'll see you later. Joe, sign us off.
This is the Authority of Attack.
Oh, jeez.
With the Reloader Chief signing out.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.